Hi everyone, it's Mary and welcome back to Mary Patrice Art. Today we're going to be painting in the medium of acrylic. I'm going to be referencing from a website. It is called PEXELS. On PEXELS, people will post photos and videos that you can use for creative content for free of use. You do need to access the website and sign up for free, and then you can download the photo reference I did today that we're painting is from I'm crediting the person who took the photo. His name is Petr. I do hope I pronounce your last name right, and if I don't, please let me know in the comments below if anyone knows how to pronounce this the right way. When I looked it up on Google Translate, it's pronounced Slovacek. So he took a beautiful evening photo of a lighthouse, and I'm very fond of lighthouses. I think they're great, and this painting is dedicated to my mom today because I know she loves lighthouses. So if you're out there, Mom, love you. So without further ado, the painting is called Pinot Minou, Lighthouse in the Evening. I hope that you enjoy this painting, and just know that I did credit the person. As a disclaimer, this painting is not going to be redistributed. It's not going to be for sale. It's only for educational purposes to teach you about the aspects of art that when you look into a museum, there's that one saying that a picture has 1,000 words. And I think that with a painting or a photograph, 1,000 people plus could have some different kind of perspective. So if you need to see the sketch that I have, I'll actually show a glimpse of that, just as an idea of how to sketch this. But remember that each one of us, I believe, is their own artist. And I remember my mother giving me something saying that you let your light shine. And I think that's what is a part of inspired this painting today is every single artist shines their own kind of light. And that's the beauty that I think comes from art and studying it. So thank you, artists out there, and thank you, Mom, for encouraging me in a positive way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this painting started. And I'll see you very soon when the view changes. So this is my basic sketch of the lighthouse from the photo reference. I'm going to dip my 1-inch Artist Smith brush into the water, and then I'm going to go into the mixture of my phthalo blue and a touch of white to make a sky. And I'm just going to start here, a little bit more water, and we'll just drop in the sky. Like so. So what I will do is, because you know this mixture, I will come back when my sky is completely done. Okay, now that the sky is done, we are going to move on to the water. And with that, I've set up a mixture of a 2-to-1 of 2 parts of the phthalo green blue shade and my phthalo blue with a little bit of a mixture of the white. It's almost as if I added to this blue here that I have a phthalo blue and white, and I added some phthalo green to that. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure we try to keep this horizon line as straight as possible. If you're nervous about that, you can always start here at the bottom and then kind of work your way up and then leave a space, and you can use a flat brush, bright brush, or my handy dandy brush that I have here from Princeton brush. It's my 3/8 angular shader. It's an awesome brush. Now this is the Velvet Touch, which is used for mixed media. I highly recommend that you have this brush in your toolbox. It comes in handy for any medium. So let's get started here on the water. Now just to show you, we can start right here at the bottom. And what's cool about this angular shader brush, so that you can see this, is that it will just really cool. It just helps to outline the land. Now I can change my mind on how I want this to be, but just to get an idea of this is where I want my water and this is where I want my land. And you'll start to notice when you paint, when you need to go in for more paint on your palette, and I'll do that in just a moment here. Okay, and I'm just going to leave a gap there so we can go ahead and show you. Okay. And again, take your time. It's okay. I know that acrylics dry fast, but you have enough time that you're going to do just fine. I think it's more about precision and doing your best. So, because I know there's this here, I'm going to come over. And then I know it's kind of hard for you to see, but there is a light sketch of some land. I can easily go over that and just know I can cover that, but I know you might not be able to see it, but I can't. So if you wonder why I'm not completely going straight here. Okay, now what I went ahead and did is I finished my water, and then I add a little bit more of a mixture, a stronger side of the phthalo green and to my water to darken it a little bit, because again, it is a nighttime scene. So we're going to move on with the land here. Okay, and so with that, I'm going to go in with some raw umber. And so I'm going to take into consideration, I've got my handy dandy, you know, my favorite brush, that 3/8 angular shader brush. It's a great brush. So I'm going to take that raw umber, make sure my brush is wet. Okay. And I'm going to start with the right here with the bottom left. Okay. And kind of get this set up here so that you can see. If my hand goes in front of this camera, I'm sorry. But what you're going to do is, you have two choices when you do your sketch. You could go over this path. I wouldn't recommend that. But you could, if that's your choice. Or you could just gently go around it and just, again, just like we did with the water, leave a space. We're going to essentially just outline that with some carbon black. So that'll help a lot. But we do need to get the land done first. So, okay, now that that's finished, towards the end, it mixed a little bit with the gray, and that's just fine. Once it's all dry, I have an option. I could leave it as is, or I might go ahead in with my number 2 with my Princeton. You can go in and you can outline with some carbon black, and that's up to you. So the next thing we're going to do is, if you have a diamond painting knife, I'm going to be using a plastic one today. These come in any kit. I got these at Joann's, and I'll list this in the description below. But you're going to make a marbled. What I mean is marbled is you'll just drop in the colors that I'm informing you. And you're not going to mix them all together, okay? So you're going to take just a touch of white and then a touch of your raw umber, touch of your carbon black, and then a touch of your burnt sienna and make a marbled mix, okay? And you're going to do that with a diamond painting knife. Okay. Now that I've got some on my painting knife here, I'm going to start from this bottom part. And you have to think about understanding what you see in that picture. And for me is, okay, well, it's dark. So we're going to add some texture. Now what I'm doing is, okay, now the next thing that you want to do is once this is finished, I went ahead and I outlined part of this with black. I didn't make it precise simply because remember that it's dark out. It's mostly probably a rocky road. And so with that, we can go ahead and proceed on with the lighthouse. Now, with this is you're going to have about a 3 to 4 value of gray for your lighthouse. Your lighthouse could be a different color than mine, and it's perfectly fine. But in this case, in the photo, it is on the gray side. So with that said, I'm going to get that started. And okay, so your painting should look somewhat like this, and almost like, you know, a backwards L. And so I'm going to let that set for a moment, and I'm going to move on with the rest of the part of the lighthouse. So what I saw from the picture is it looks like it's burnt sienna. And you can add a touch of white to that, that's fine. Or you can leave it just straight burnt sienna if you don't want to mix anything. So, you know, for example, I can go in, for me, I think that it'll look great. If you kind of play with the variations of the white and the burnt sienna, you'll see. Now, the brush I'm going to use specifically for this is just my Princeton round, and it's a number 2. So, I'm going to show you here as just like you're holding, you know, a pencil, you know, this way, okay? You're going to turn it to the right, okay? And I'm not holding it straight vertical. I'm almost holding at an angle that I would be holding a pencil sideways. And now I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to go around this perimeter of the burnt sienna, and then just be gentle with how you fill that in, okay? So there's that. Okay, just like so. Okay, now I have all that finished, and I went ahead and I did my windows, and then I took some of the carbon black. I didn't dip back into the carbon black. I used what I had still in the brush and went ahead and outlined part of the lighthouse. So what I see here is I didn't do this side so much, and gonna make sure that's a little bit more filled in. Now, the other thing I noticed about the photograph, this again is optional, but they're stone blocks. So what you can do if you want is you can make indications of stones. And this is where you just kind of play around with, maybe even when you're sketching, of how you want the stones to look. But for me, I just saw that it was just here and there. So I'm just using a very light touch of this carbon black. And again, just making kind of uneven marks here and there for the lighthouse to give it some texture without having to use any other materials. And again, this is when your creativity, you know, comes into play of just knowing what stones look like and adding texture. So I'm pretty happy with that. I do really like that a lot. And I don't want it to take from the main focal point of the lighthouse. So that's taken care of. So with that, I also want to make sure that the part about this is the actual door indication of the lighthouse is right here. I know a lot of times you might see the door is right here, but it's actually over here. Now, moving on with the sky here. There are some clouds there. So what I would do is we're going to go in with, again, my favorite brush. You could go in with a 3/8 angular shader. This is the Princeton Velvet Touch. Or you could even go in with the Artist Smith number 2. Make sure you can see that, okay? And we're gonna make some clouds. Now I'll show you both ways. I'll show you once with the angular shader, another with the number 2, and you'll see which one works best for you. So now with this is I'm gonna go in with my Titan Buff, mostly because it's nighttime. The clouds aren't as bright. That's why I'm not using titanium white for this. So just so you know, when you're painting in the future, that's an excellent color to use. So what I saw in the painting was that over here by the horizon, there was some indications of some clouds. So now I'm holding the point here of the brush. Now my brush is somewhat loaded, and I'm just using this point here, okay? And it's like if you were holding the pencil, but holding it sideways, almost at this kind of angle, and you're using gentle pressure, okay? And just think about how uneven and just how clouds are. They just do their thing, like so, okay? Now I'm holding it straight up like this, just kind of filling in those areas. It's okay if there's texture. That's great. It's cool to add that to the painting like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now that cloud's there. Now I'll go back in with my Titan Buff. But this time I'm gonna use this number 2, and I'm gonna show you just another way that you can easily put in a cloud, okay? So I remember seeing that there were some clouds over here. Let's see if you can see this. And again, you can just hold it like this. Like that. And I'm happy with that. And maybe there might be one up here. Just there. It's just there. And maybe you got some serious clouds here. And then just kind of pull it. Like so. You don't want it to be really textured. Serious clouds, they're just hanging out there. They're all right. Okay. I might fill this in just a little bit. Okay. There we go. I'm happy with that. It's just something I thought about it. Again, you're going to hold this horizontal. You're going to hold it just horizontal with the longer angle that way, pointing that way. Okay, and just make some indications of some water here and there. You don't need to go over this. Just leave it like so. That almost looks like there's waves there, without even putting them in. Pretty easy, right? Okay, now we're gonna go over here. Same thing, just here and there, light pressure, that there's some water there. And then maybe there's some water crashing there. All right, like so. I am happy with that. I think that's a great way to end this painting. I just want to thank you for tuning into Mary Patrice Art. I hope that you've enjoyed this painting. Thank you, Petr Slovacek, for the Pinot Minou lighthouse painting in the evening. So if you get a chance, check out PEXELS and check out my other videos that I have. And just thank you for your time and take care. Bye.